What's up, guys? Welcome back to Coinbros. I am Pinky. As every day, we're going to talk about the market. We are going to talk about things going on. I'm going to give you guys my views on things, and obviously I have some really cool information I want to share with you guys about what we're doing in the future. But let's just go right into the market. So Bitcoin today, and I talk a lot about Bitcoin because it's the big dog, right? Like whatever Bitcoin does, it kind of affects the entire industry. There's not really a lot going on right now. No crazy big news right now, right? Like last week we had the war. I mean, it's still going on, but that was the news of the attacks and all that. So you had a big dump off. We recovered nicely. I think we ran up to like 74K Bitcoin, and now we're kind of having a little bit of a pullback, right? And this is the way the market moves. You can't just keep going straight up. We went all the way down to 60K. And we bounced up to 74. That's a big bounce within a week, right? And now we're sitting around like 71K. All the major alts are kind of following suit, like with the percentage. I think Ethereum's still holding over 2,000. That's great, right? Because we want to stay above that 2,000 line. So overall, the market looks really good, and you're gonna have these pullbacks. It's part of the game, right? Nothing goes straight up. Everything stair steps up, stair steps down. So, not financial advice, but it's always buying opportunities, in my opinion. Whenever you see things going in the right direction. I was reading a bunch of articles today, and there are like 3 or 4 of the main outlets like CoinDesk, and they're saying that the sentiment's shifted, right? This market is driven off sentiment, and obviously there's a lot of big players when it comes to Bitcoin and big movers, but at the end of the day, retail and it's always sentiment driven, right? The entire industry, when people are bullish on it, people buy green. When people are bearish, they buy red. The minute you can switch that mentality and you can start trying to find opportunities in the downturns, in the dumps, you're going to do better. I've been here for 10 years and this is the way it works, right? Now, you do have to be careful too. It depends on what side of the game you're playing. If you're playing in the meme coins and the degen side of things, it's a whole different game plan, right? Like it's nothing like Bitcoin. It's way more volatile. It's just riskier, right? And the reason I'm even talking about this is because we're gonna have some fun tonight. We were supposed to do a live stream where we just kind of trench, right? So I'm gonna have our terminals open. I'll have all the Coinbros in there. My brothers are gonna be in there, and we're just gonna trench. When I say trench, I mean we're just gonna trade meme coins in the trenches, and we're gonna try to find some runners, right? And I'll have the terminal open. If you're not familiar with like how to navigate or how to even play in that sector, it's a good thing to watch, right? Because I'll show you guys how terminal works. I'll show you guys like what to look for coins if you do want to play around in that space. It's going to be a good time. It'll be fun. Or maybe we just get wrecked, right? We might just lose a bunch of money. So that's always a possibility in the trench game. But to go back to just the overall market, this is the way it works, right? And I think we're sitting around 71K Bitcoin. So we had about a $3,000 pullback over the past 24, 48 hours. Perfectly normal. I still think it's very bullish though. I think the way that we recovered from all the news last week was like ultra bullish for the space. And I don't see a world where we go back down to like, 50, like mid 50s or something like that. Now it could happen. I'm not Nostradamus. Nobody knows, right? But I just feel like there is just so much on the horizon right now with crypto. I feel like the bear market, we're already midway through it. When you say bear market to people, the minute that you hit the top, the peak, right, which is obviously 120K, and then you come down, that's the top of the bull market, right? So you're in a bear market. The bear is when it's coming down. So if that's the case and we're approaching the bottom, like let's just hypothetically say 50K is the bottom, right? That'd be a very low Bitcoin. I'd be buying the hell out of it. But let's say that's it, right? We're not too far off from that. And then it's upward, right? Then you go into a bull market. So when prices are going up from the bottom, you're heading into a bull. So it's not always like when it's peaking, right? Like the bull run doesn't mean that everything's at all-time highs and Bitcoin's at 400,000. No, it's like you want to ride the wave when things are getting good, and you want to position yourself when things aren't when things are kind of slow, right? When things are sideways and or maybe even going down a bit, it's like that. This is when you take positions on things, and this is how you set yourself up for the run. You don't want to be buying at the top of anything. You never want to buy the top of anything, right? So when you're buying Bitcoin when it's hitting all-time highs, you're doing it wrong. So you want to make sure when you know, if you believe in what Bitcoin and crypto is, you want to look for the opportunities to buy it as low as possible, right? And then you just hold. You got to learn how to hold a little bit. I know it's tough, guys. And always, you know, at the end of the day, always only bet or use what the money you have, right? Like, you have to be able to sit on things. You have to be able to say, look, I'm going to forget about this for 3 months, 6 months, whatever. And, you know, don't use your rent money, right? Because then you stress out. I've done it before, trust me. When I first got into crypto, well, backstory. A lot of you probably know if you're from the channel. You know, I've been living off crypto for 10 years. Like, not very many people can say that. This is back in the day when I hardly had any crypto, and I'm trying to pay my rent. I had my son. Like, I was living off crypto for 10 years. And I still do it. I could probably keep a couple $100 in my bank account at a time. I live 100% off crypto. So I know how hard it can be, you know, and when you're, you know, if you don't have a lot of crypto, it's real hard to hold on to it through the hard times, right? That's why you got to build your stack. You know, this is a long game too. You know, you can make money in the short term, but it's also a long game. This is something to set you up financially for life. And I'm not going to go into it too much, but I'm going to do an entire video on why I think that crypto is maybe the most important thing that you can get into with everything happening in the world, right? With AI, and when I say with AI, it's because there's been many articles and talks about this. What do you think the form of transaction of currency is going to be with AI? It's going to be crypto. You know, it just makes sense. It's like symbiotic. So if that's the case, if AI is taking over everything, which it is, if everyone's going to be losing their jobs, which is, the reason I say that I believe that, and I'll tell you a quick story. I have a really good friend who has a daughter my son's age, so they play together. They go to the same school. He's the head of a pretty major company that has, I don't know, 10,000 employees across the country. And he told me, he's the guy that helps run the AI, right? He's the guy that helps make sure that he manages the AI. But he told me they laid off 1,600 people last week. And he's like, my job's on the chopping block because even me, the guy that runs the AI, it's getting so good. And he's open about it. He's like, dude, it's better than anything I could do. He's like, you could take 100 people and this what we can do with AI now does it in 1 minute and better than everybody. So he's like, it's coming. And he's like, I'm every single time they do a chop, he's like, I think I might be one of the guys getting cut, right? So, and that's across the board. Like, that's what's happening in the world right now. If you haven't played around with some of the things you can do with AI, it's getting scary, right? So a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, and there's going to be a lot of people that don't know what to do, or maybe like the profession that they got into that they've worked on their whole life, maybe that goes obsolete, right? And the one thing you can do is get into something like crypto, which can give you financial freedom if you do it right. Now it's like anything else. You got to learn it. You got to understand what you're doing. You have to make sure you get in the right places. You don't go get into the industry trying to be a gambler, because you're probably going to get wrecked that way. But there is a lot of things you can do in the space that can really, really set you up if you do it right. And that leads into, some other things I want to talk about. I'm just going to rant today, man. There's not much going on in the industry, so let's just talk. So we're going to be doing I keep saying this and I keep drilling it. We're doing a group, and it's going to be a free group for everyone to come into. And the vision is, we want to build the next wave of superstars in the crypto space. And when I say superstars, just people that come into the space, because there's always a bunch of new people that come into the space and they do really well because they're focused and they really want to do things, and they're out there and they're learning everything they can learn. Well, those people all become millionaires every cycle. I've seen it time and time again. And I have a lot of people that came up with me that I got into the industry that didn't have any money or they didn't have any knowledge, but they just had the drive and they did the right things, and they're making millions of dollars now. Numerous friends. And with what we're trying to do here at Coinbros is we want to get the next wave of badasses that are going to come into the space and be that next wave, and we all work together, right? And it's the main thing is timing, right? Like right now, timing is everything. It's like bear market, it's slow. This is when you want to be building things. This is when you want to get into the space and learn things properly. You know, this is when you want to get a crew that you can trust, that you can work together on things, and everybody can just do really well, right? So we're going to be opening that up on our website. It's going to be coinbros.fun. We're still in the works, like give it a few days, but we're going to have access to the school or whatever platform we do use. It'll be free for you guys, and we're gonna have some gifts there. We'll have, you know, for new people coming in, we'll have videos that can explain, you know, how to get into certain things. We're gonna have live streams that we do if you do want to trench and just have some fun in the degen side of things. And it's just gonna be a really good place, and you know, with the goal in mind for us all to get filthy rich, you know, this next bull run. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me see if there's any more news. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's basically just, you know, we're having a tiny pullback in crypto. Bitcoin came down to 71. But you got to remember, right? It's like hindsight's 2020. Just a week ago, we were at 60K and everyone's freaking out. We're at 70K now. I know we went up to 75, came down a bit, but you can't have that goldfish brain. You got to, you know, it's stair steps up. Everything stair steps. We're in a good place. A lot of opportunities, and yeah, we're gonna get this going. We're gonna get it popping. So tonight, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be doing that live stream. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Make sure you subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And every one of you guys that's watching, especially if you watch to the end of this, I really appreciate you guys. I know there's a lot of people out there that you can be watching, and you know, to take your time and listen to me rant means a lot, and I'm gonna keep doing this. You know, you guys make me keep doing this. We're gonna grow this into one of the biggest channels in the game, and I hope you're here with us for the ride. Much love, guys.